Hey guys, how y'all doing? It is Kiki Rich.
It's your boy Mike Rich. Yeah.
And we are back with episode number 3 of Deep Cuts with the Riches.
Whoa.
So just let me go ahead and let y'all know a couple of things ahead of time. We are recording in the car today because we had to get this done. Next weekend we will be out of town, so we have to get at least 2 episodes done this weekend.
This is a part of us being trying to be consistent. Trying
to be consistent, exactly. So y'all got to be in the car. You're going to hear the tires on the rumble against the pavement. You might hear the GPS, but just bear with us because what you're here for is the conversation, okay? So this week, what are we talking about, babe?
Talking about in-laws, man. You feel me? In-laws and their importance to a relationship or marriage. Well, of course a marriage because you ain't got no in-laws if you ain't married. But you know what I'm saying? Like, is having a strong relationship with the in-laws, how does it make or break a relationship? How does it affect the relationship? And the sun is in my eyes now. I
know the sun is in my eyes too. It's just a lot of conflict, but just listen to us, okay? So I want you to start off. I always start off with my opinion. What do you think? Is a relationship with the in-laws essential, or give us your experience with our marriage?
Okay, so apparently, in order for us to be married as long as we have, it's not essential because we don't have the best relationship with our in-laws.
We do not.
I don't have a great relationship with. I won't say I have a bad relationship with your mom and dad, but it's just there almost. You know,
yeah.
I don't know how deep you want to go into it, but I've had negative experiences
with my mom.
Yeah,
like,
with your mom.
Get it on now. I'm not. We gonna be here. We gonna tell the truth.
Like I said, I ain't know how deep you want to go with it. And your daddy, he seemed to be cool. I mean, to me, he's not around like that. But he's cool.
So Mike is playing it safe. Let's be clear with y'all.
I don't know if I'm gonna watch the videos though.
I mean, but at the end of the day, it's our truth, and we're not lying about anything. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, and I don't think that anybody that we would say anything about would disagree with what we're saying. But reality of it is my mom is a lot of work. She is. My mom has had to live with us on a couple of occasions, and they all have been very negative situations. My mom, for whatever reason, has never just been fond of Mike. He never did nothing. But she has just never been fond of him, and so she likes to make things difficult oftentimes.
Yeah.
And so they have bumped heads a lot, and it's a very uncomfortable situation. The last time that she lived with
there are police reported ahead.
So if Mike is not interrupting me, the GPS will be. But
I don't want to catch no strays today.
But the last time that she lived with us, the situation was so bad we had to make a decision to never let anybody else live with us. And my hubby actually asked me, how long am I supposed to be 30% happy so somebody else can be 70% happy? And I knew then, like, okay, we got to make some changes. But it was a very difficult situation because my mom is sick. I think if you've been here long enough before, I've discussed this before. So again, their relationship is they speak, they cordial, you know what I'm saying? They much better off when we're not on the same roof, but it's not a good situation. As far as my dad is a BSer. Like, he talk a good game. I think he probably called Mike every football season and talk about how they gonna link up and they gonna do this and they gonna do that, and it never happens. He's not a bad guy, but he's just who he is, you know what I'm saying? So I think for me, when you don't have expectations for somebody, then it's hard to be disappointed.
Yeah,
Would you agree?
I think I'm partially to blame for I'm not the most sociable individual, so the first time he said something about linking up football and stuff, I was like, you're talking about college, and I don't really watch a lot of college football, but I was like, yeah, we can talk. I mean, I love football, like, especially the NFL, so we can talk, we can kick it. I haven't been responsible. I be busy and I be doing other stuff, and like the priority stuff on the top of your list. I mean,
yeah. And then at the end of the day, even if he was 100% available, me knowing my dad, it's still not gonna happen. My dad cannot keep his word for nothing. You understand that?
You've told me that.
So every time that he says something, you just gotta. If it requires him getting up and moving a muscle, it's not gonna happen. That's what it is. So you just kind of have to, like I say, you have to accept people for who they are. And it took a long time, but I know who he is, so I don't expect much at all.
Well, let's just move on to my parents, because since they're your parents, you want to go ahead and not really defend them, but put out there what's going on with their situation. My mama, I love my mama to death. My mama raised me and my brother by herself. But she is very, in my family in the general, they're very like me. They kind of antisocial, kind of like stick to ourselves.
There are police reported ahead.
Okay. okay, it's police everywhere. We know it. But we all kind of like just stick to just our group, our family. As Kiki so most eloquently said in Alive, they're like a cult.
They
Crazy.
are.
But it's not not like that. But it's more like just you got to really be around them for them to even kind of like. I remember when me and Kiki first met, before we got married and stuff. Like half of the time they came around, they act like they were me and Kiki for the first time.
Exactly.
And she knew exactly who everybody was.
They will not give you the warms and fuzzies at all. Like
they're not really
wondering where you stand. So if I have to explain it, the way I would put it is they are very family oriented, but only with their family.
Right, exactly. Because we very family oriented when it's just us. But I think I got one aunt that's not like that. She is super welcoming every time you see her. Like she is like the opposite of my mom. You know what I'm saying? And then there's my dad, which is not too much to say because my daddy don't really be around like that. My daddy, he'll be gone for 10 years and come back in spurts. Like I was definitely not raised by my dad. You know what I'm saying? So, but as far as Kiki relationship with my dad, I don't think it exists either.
Yeah, absolutely don't. And if we all know what's good, then he just stay with he is. Like
Kiki has been my main defense and truth teller when it comes to people trying to make an excuse for my dad and not being around. And she has made a lot of people on that side of the family uncomfortable by being that truth teller. So we really don't talk to them like that. Not no more anyway.
And that's, you know what, honestly and truthfully, I used to feel bad about it. Because it's just like, oh, this is family. However, I'll be honest in saying, like, as far as my in-laws, my family is very family oriented, and they family oriented with everybody. They always want to be around. They always want to be together. I promise you, in my family, the group me is currently going off every few minutes with somebody doing something else. It's to the point where I have to budget my time. Like, okay, I'm only showing up to 3 things this month, because if not, they would dominate your calendar. They like just togetherness. You know what I'm saying? And so it's a difficult because I think they're just now starting to realize. I feel like they used to think I was making excuses when I would say that I'll show up to stuff and Mike wouldn't come, and they'll be like, "Where Mike? He don't like us." And I'm like, "No, he's just very, very introverted, and it's a lot easier for me to just go by myself rather than come to him and constantly be like, you okay? Or have everybody asking if he's okay." And I know this is probably weird for you guys, especially if y'all follow him on his station, because he got so much energy, and that is 100% who he is. But in person, Mike is very introverted, and he will, until he get to know you, he's going to slink back every time. So it was just uncomfortable for me. I used to try to force it, like, babe, come on, I don't want to go by myself. And after a while, I was like, you know what, I'm sick of this. And when I started leaving him, then he started getting himself together. So he's 100% better now, but it was a long time coming. So going back on the subject of, is it essential? Absolutely not, in my opinion. I'll be honest and say I have gripes with Michael's parents, because they don't have any relationship with my daughter, and that bothers me to my core. Even with my mom being who she is, she tries to be, and she's 100% bedridden, and she still try to be a grandma. My dad, I won't lie, my baby be getting him confused between my dad and his uncle, and my brother, who is her uncle. She can't never, but that's because he has not taken the time to build a relationship, and he feels as though it should be me who's just encouraging a relationship. But the thing is I know who he is, and I don't want baby people in and out of my kids' life. So I love him, I deal with him, but she'll have to be older, and they'll have to figure that out, because I already know, like, the few times that he has made promises, he didn't show up. And I don't want my baby, I can't protect her from every disappointment, but it's some that I know are certainly going to be there, and I don't feel like I have to entertain those. In regards to my issues with Mike's parents, is his mom is literally around the corner from us, like literally maybe 15-20 minutes max, and she has never even watched her grandbaby one time in almost 9 years. She doesn't show up for her. She doesn't do a lot of things, and I don't understand that, you know what I mean? And then his dad, same difference. He had an opportunity or an ultimatum to either show up and be consistent or not, and he chose not to. So I have a lot of issues with that. So are they essential? No, because one thing for certain, another thing for sure, is we have friends who have become family and who have become specific piece, whether they aunties, grandmas, whatever, that make us 100% whole. So they're not essential. The relationships are, but the people that actually have the titles aren't. I know that sounded harsh. Did that sound harsh?
No, it sounded real. Man, just going back to my mom real quick. Before my daughter was born, my mom was super excited. When my daughter was born, she was super excited. She came over there with my daughter my brother brought her to my house when my daughter was born, when she came home and stuff like that. And I was thinking the whole time, okay, well, this is gonna be, she gonna be coming over here. She gonna be asking to keep her and all that stuff. My mama 100% depends on me to bring my daughter over here.
And I don't get it.
It's really my. She put the ball in my court, so I would, my mom watched a lot of our videos, so if she is watching this, I'm thinking the thing is, she thought they put the ball in your hand. My parents used to bring us to see my grandma. She used to always, when my grandma didn't even drive, so we always, and she was younger than my mom is now, and so that was just the thing that they always did. They always brought the kids to grandma's house. I don't have the time to bring Harley over there all the time. You know what I'm saying? I could do better with it. I will admit that. So I'm not going to put 100% blame on her. But at the same time, you got to show interest. If you tell me you want to see her, I'll bring her. If you call and say I want to talk to her on the phone, I'll let you talk to her on the phone, FaceTime, or whatever. And I don't get a lot of that from my mama, which I have verbally been outspoken about with her, and she kind of makes excuses. So yeah. That's a real soft, Kiki, that's a real soft spot for me. I don't like talking about it, but hey, we on this thing, it is what it is. But I really was looking forward to my mama and my daughter having a really good relationship, and they don't have really no. Every time I bring Harley over there, she remembers her vaguely. And that's how much they don't see each other. Like I said, I could bring her over there once a week. I could and I was going to do that, set aside the time to bring her over there once a week, but I don't know. I be wanting a little bit more pull from her side. I agree, because I feel like the intention has to be there. I don't want to force anything on anybody. Like, for example, my sister, she don't mind with my dad. She'll go drop my niece and nephew off over there in a heartbeat and be like, they just gonna stay. I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it. I feel like it's forced. And you have to want it. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it's a choice, because it'll be different if you can't do something, but we're just choosing not to. Because even if we want to break it down even further, relationships with aunties and uncles. Mike has a brother who he grew up in the house with, and I have voiced my concerns about them not having a relationship on multiple occasions, and he has not taken any initiative. He always tell me he's gonna do it.
So it's like, it is what it is. Because one thing was another thing for sure. Like I said, we surrounded by a lot of friends who automatically just we've adopted into our lives, and they
Harley has a surrogate grandmother, basically.
Yeah, she does. You know what I'm saying?
And I know I cut you off. I'm sorry, but that was on tip of my tongue.
Yeah, she does, and she's there for her for every single last thing. Like, it's so weird, because Harley, who she knows as grandma, is my son Jarian's great auntie. That I told y'all before last video that I'm still very close with his family. You know what I'm saying? But that's the love that we have for each other. And she didn't have any grandchildren at that time, and we were looking for a nanny, and she wanted to do it. And now, 8 years, almost 9 years later, like, if I forget to say you had grandma's day at school, she on my head, she on my neck, she's there constantly.
Thank God for Auntie Janice. Thank God for Mama Janice. She has been a big blessing in our lives. Like I said, she's Harley's surrogate grandma, and I remember a lot of times when I bring her up around my mama, she would feel a certain type of way, and I could tell she feel a certain type of way. I'm like, hey man, when she took that spot, she wanted to be there. She kept Harley. She did everything a grandma should do. You are her biological grandma, but she's been doing everything a grandma should do in her life. And like, my daddy probably saw Harley when she was like a few months old.
She was 5 months. I'll never forget.
I was out of town. What was I, Vegas?
You was somewhere, yeah.
One of them sneaker kind of thing. And I wasn't even around. Like, I wasn't even there. My sister has never seen my daughter. You know what I'm saying? They all live.
She actually, her issue is really with me, but she's making Mike pay for it. You know what I'm saying? And to me, it's just like, it'd be so confusing, because the most holier than thou people always have the craziest things, like the weirdest relationships.
Very church going, very God fearing, but hypocritical in my eyes. I love her. She's my sister, but at the same time, you got to call a cat a cat.
Like, literally. And I waved the white flag. I offered the apology, even though I didn't feel like one was necessary. You know what I'm saying? Or from my part, because we can agree to disagree. I'm always gonna confront a situation with honest opinions, and that was what happened. Was my honesty. It was my truth. We just didn't agree on it. So she made the decision to pull back, and as a result, she don't really mess with her brother like that, which I hate, and she doesn't have a relationship with her niece. Has never met her at all.
Never met her. And I think a generalization as far as the whole situation is it needed? No.
Absolutely.
Is it wanted?
Yes.
Definitely, for sure, because I get examples of this all the time. I see people that have so much support from the in-laws. The in-laws always keeping the kids. They always coming on events and just showing love and just showing. It be so much love in people's family and so. And you look at yours sometimes, you be like, we got a lot of dysfunction over here, and I ain't feeling the love like that. I think that stresses you out sometimes too. It just make you put you in a state of not really depression, but just give you you don't have good energy. Now I will be thankful our friends and family that do spend time, but even those people are mostly coming from Kiki's side.
And I'll be honest and say, one of my best friends, she actually, because I used to harp on it all the time, what my family wasn't doing, and she told me, she was like, you know what, it really bothers me to hear you say that, because we go out our way to make sure that we there to support you and your family, but it's almost like, I know y'all here, but I want that. And even though to an extent, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I would prefer, well, not necessarily prefer, but you know what I'm saying? It just seems like it's that natural thing. For example, I have a grandbaby. We have a grandbaby. I go and pick my grandbaby up. I go spend time with her. I FaceTime her. I do all the things. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's important for me that she has a relationship with her grandpa. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like that there's an extension out there, regardless of what the relationship is with the other side of the family or whatever. I don't like to know that there's an extension of me who does not know me. I just cannot be. I don't understand that language. I just don't. So to me, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's imperative. And going back to what Mike was getting ready to say about me, most of the relationships being on behalf of me, it's just because I'm much more of a sociable person.
That's why. That's why Kiki got more friends and stuff than I do. More people, more associates, more friends, more people. I'm just not a very big people person, and that going back to the beginning of the conversation. That's why I don't show up to everything, because I'm not comfortable being around a whole lot of people I don't know if I'm not familiar with. Which is that's supposed, it's an oxymoron, because that's how you're supposed to get familiar.
I was going to say,
but I have to take people in doses. I can't take a whole lot of people at one time, and I'm trying to get to know everybody. Go talk to this person. I'm not him. I've seen people do it. Uncles and aunties, they go and walk around and they just talk to everybody for 10-15 minutes. I'm not him, man. I don't all that be unnerving to me. It do something to me. It's overstimulation. It's too much, and I just be like, dang. And I got main character syndrome. I always think somebody wondering about me or thinking about me or wondering what I got going on.
Is that main character or their insecurities? Where did that come from?
Huh?
I said, where does that come from? Because I've always
I feel like it's definitely based off of insecurity.
Yeah,
it's based off of insecurity, based off of what people might think or what they might say. But I'm always a person that's quiet and I stay in the cut, and it's always somebody. You all right? What's wrong? I'm just not that person. Can I just be not that person until I am that person? You know what I'm saying?
And you don't never have to be that person. That's who you are. If you introvert,
but you know, when I eventually get to know somebody, I do.
Right, it just take you a little bit more time.
You know what I'm saying? I be sitting back, scoping out, seeing what's going on, seeing how people act, seeing how people kind of bounce off each other before I decide to jump out there and get into the conversation. That's just how I always been.
Yeah, and I think there's nothing at all that's wrong with that. It's just that there are consequences to it, but it's also consequences with me and being social. I have a lot of heartbreak because I am so social, and I do allow people in, and I do trust, and I do love super hard, and I always try to show up and whatever.
Quick to let people in so fast to the point. Not not everybody, but I'm just saying people who's supposed to be in, like my sister, for one thing. Family, you think, okay, this is my sister. I'm getting decent vibes. This is my sister-in-law. Let me jump into the relationship. Jari and baby mama, same thing. You jump into these relationships thinking that people supposed to react to a situation like you would react to a situation, but they end up because you are so giving, loving, and you also you apply your opinion, whether it's brutal or whatever, it's honest. You give your honest. Everybody don't want to hear truth, and aggressive truth. They be like, bro, I ain't, you know what I'm saying? So I think that aggressive. You're definitely aggressive.
I think that accountability hits harder. Like that, I just think
man, that's what it is. If I wear the pants in the house, you wear the jeans. Because I promise you ain't got on a skirt, you ain't got on no what them girl be wearing in the bed, the big one piece, moo, you don't wear none of that. You wear I got on some denims and you got on some corduroys or something. Because I promise you, you used to being in charge, you used to be in control of things, you used to taking control of things, and in a certain situation in your life that led you to be that type of person. I'm not blaming you, but you do have a very aggressive and straightforward personality, and some people that rubs the wrong way.
And I agree, because people, like I said, people will eliminate me really quickly. Like, but
they'll be like, I don't feel like dealing with it, and they don't even be mean about it. They just be like, I'm good.
They just don't answer, block me, do all those stuff, which I feel like is the weakest thing.
Blocking
but like,
is weak.
at the end of the day, first and foremost, at the end of the day, I just feel like you need to adults should be able to converse with each other. Tell me what I did wrong. Give me an opportunity to change it. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I'm gonna be honest with you. If you're ever going to be connected to me, I am your accountability partner automatically. But I want the same thing. I do. But unfortunately, it ruins relationships. Like it does.
I gotta get out of there. I be having something on my. I don't be trying to cut Kiki off. I be having a thought on my mind, and I gotta. If I don't think about it, I ain't gonna get off. I'm gonna say in the same vein though, it's people in my family and my friends that absolutely love Kiki because they respect the mess out of her. How driven she is, how ambitious is, how she's how she just kind of like go about life. They like I got homeboys that be like, I could be saying something like, but yeah, you know, Kiki, man, your white man, she gonna make sure she take care of this, she gonna take care of, you know, that and stuff. I say, yeah, I know that she like that. And I don't even have homeboys that like when they out single homeboys that don't have no woman and stuff like that. And I'd be like, bro, why don't you just get somebody? Said, bro, it ain't a lot of Kikis out there, my boy. So you know what I'm saying?
I received the compliment.
Yeah, they do say that. So, but it's just like on the side. Even my cousins, like when we went out to the cabins and stuff, and everybody was like, boy, your wife, she put this thing together, man. She fought with this joint. Like they love the fact that you just got that kind of go attitude. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like I got very positive characteristics, but I also have, like I said, what people would consider negative. I'm sorry, but I don't want a lot of people around me who just can't be accountable, or they just doing stuff. Because the thing about it that you have to realize with any type of relationship, when you out here wilding out doing a whole bunch of stuff, and then you think that I'm gonna be your pillow or your conversation, I don't want to be stressed out because you're doing crazy stuff all the time.
Yes, man.
No, and I'm not, because if you're doing the wrong stuff, I'm gonna tell you wrong stuff. But listen, I expect the same thing in return.
Yeah.
And I'm also big you up when you're doing the great things. I'm a support. I'm just going to be that all around person. It's not like I'm just negative, but like I say, I think that people say aggressive. I'm struggling with that. It might be true. You know what I'm saying? Hold me accountable. If I go ahead, babe.
Just blunt.
I feel like I'm more blunt, and then I think that the reality of it is accountability hurts anybody.
People
like
don't
when you see your truth from somebody else's lenses, it don't feel good. You can know what you're doing all day long, but as soon as somebody addresses it, it just hit differently. And you see this car, right?
I see him. Everywhere they were driving aggressive too.
But the reality of it is and I can speak to it because I know it as well. You know what I'm saying? Well, so I can be doing something and somebody else calling me about it on it, and it's like a gut punch. You know what I'm saying? To a certain extent, you're like, I ain't really want to hear that from nobody. But it does not change the fact that it's true.
You definitely do it. And my boy, shout out to E. We need to throw some videos up too. But we were having a conversation the other day that literally could have been a video about accountability and yes men. Like a lot of people want people around them that's gonna agree with them. He one of the friends that I talked to that he ain't finna agree with me. But he said, do you want the Charles Oakley? Then you probably won't get this, but I'm gonna explain it. Do you want the Charles Oakley friend or do you want the Charles Barkley friend? Mm-hmm. Charles Oakley is Michael Jordan's best friend. Mm-hmm. They cool, boom, to this day. Charles Barkley used to be one of Michael Jordan's best friends, but he's not no more because he was completely honest about the situation with Michael Jordan about him being a bad owner for that Charlotte Hornets team. Mm-hmm. And he gonna tell him the truth and be brutally honest all the time. That's the friend you want. That's the friend people like Kanye West need. People who think that they just him and they the main character all the time. They need a friend that's gonna tell them 100% the truth, and that's a good characteristic about you. Whether it's in-laws, friends, family, whoever it is, the way you speak, I think that's what you want. It's been one of the things in our marriage that's helped me out a lot because Kiki don't sugarcoat nothing, man. And a lot of times I'll battle her about it. A lot of times I'll be defensive about it. But if it's something that makes sense, I'll come around and be like, you know what? That's right. And right is right. On which one you're right. You feel
which one you're right. So anyways, going back to the topic at hand, which all of it definitely belongs.
Right.
Somebody said that we ramble. We definitely do, and we probably will continue to. But we can always bring you back. The topic at hand is basically, is it essential? Is our in-law relationships essential? And we're not just talking about mom, dad, or mother-in-law, father-in-law. We're talking about family-in-law. You know what I'm saying? it is nice to have, but it's not essential. You can still be very successful in your relationships with or without those main people who, like I say, a lot of people have a title, but it does not mean that they actually fit the job. You know what I'm saying? And we have a lot of that going on. We have a lot of titles, but they haven't met the job description yet.
But we also have found people that have met the job description. They just don't have the titles.
They don't have the blood,
the biological blood title.
But they definitely have.
They surrogates.
Exactly. And we thankful. We still have a very full, healthy, fun life or whatever. You know what I'm saying? We have a lot of drama with our families. You know what I'm saying? Very little with our friends. Like, it's almost one of those things where if you can just go out and pick the people you want, we would be in a good situation.
Yeah.
But we blessed even so. So anybody who is considering not having a relationship because they don't get along with the family, you can get around that if you want to.
You can.
If that person actually means anything to you.
Though.
There are things that you're gonna have to go through when you go, you know, like throughout a relationship. If anything were to ever happen to us, we're gonna have to be able to include those people. I love them, you know what I'm saying, and I'm always respect them, you know what I'm saying, and I will always be cordial, you know what I'm saying. So those type of things don't get in my way, you know what I mean. You just have to have a certain level of maturity. But yeah, if you love that person and you want to be with that person, baby, y'all need to worry about y'all.
Yeah.
That's what really matters.
That's what's gonna matter.
That's the only people, when y'all stand there to take y'all vows, y'all gonna be the only two people there.
Yep, and that's
with God. That's it.
That's it. Under the Lord, and that's the person you come home to every day. That's the person who you experience the most stuff with. And unfortunately, that's the person who get the good, the bad, and the ugly of what you got going on.
Absolutely.
So you gotta respect them for that. They the ones that deal with you more than anybody. So I think their opinions kind of matter more than anybody anyway.
Absolutely. So that's our tidbit for this week. Like I said, we will be out of town, so we probably gonna, I don't know if we're recording in the morning or it'll be dark right now when we get done with what we're doing. So we'll probably record the episode for next weekend. We're not gonna let y'all down. It'll be an episode before we leave here. We coming, but I am excited because this is week number 3. Every week that we get there, I'm putting some extra money to the side so I can actually design a set for us. But we gotta, if we don't be consistent for at least 10 episodes, no break. And one of these episodes, we just gonna go live with you guys, so we'll plan it ahead of time so y'all can come join. And we want y'all to be able to ask some real life questions, not our Friday night lives. That's a whole nother beat.
Yeah, it'll
be during the day with no drinks. Okay,
we want to be as consistent on these videos as we was on the Friday night live.
Exactly.
And I appreciate everybody in these last few videos that we put up, they've been sending back the comments and the feedback.
Thank you.
Sharing y'all stories and sharing y'all feedback and stuff like that. We appreciate all that, man. All the love. You feel me?
Absolutely, we do. And we are hearing it. We are appreciating it. I love y'all. If y'all know anything about me, if you've been here for a while, you know that I love engagement. I really do. And I have been trying to get back to the messages as often as possible. And I really want to get to a place where we can find the time where we can do more conversations or more stuff. We literally hanging on by a string right now, just trying to get everything done. So I'm proud of us.
You in the car?
Yeah, I'm proud of us. I told Mike when we got ready to leave the house, I said, listen, we gotta have to record one of these videos from the house. I mean, from the car, because I already know Sunday come, it's just a million things that we should have light days at some point. It's never a light day. Not here recently anyway. So anyways, it'll get back to that place. But before I continue to ramble on, we're almost to our destination. Thank you guys so much for your love and your support and continuously showing up for us. And we will be back next weekend. Or next week.
Yeah, next week. Appreciate y'all. See you next Sunday. Be out. Bitches.